What's up, everybody? Destin Legary here, and I just checked out Watch Dogs multiplayer. Dominic, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks.
Why don't you tell me more about what we saw behind closed doors?
Yeah, so we showed today how you could basically meet another player while you're playing in single player. You're in the open world, you're doing your stuff, and then basically you get hacked. Someone's hacking you. So you have to use your tools to try and find that person in the city. And when you do, that person is actually another player. And if you stop him, if you find him before he finishes hacking you, well, you can fight back. You can kill him, and you can even go in his game where he doesn't expect you and hack into him.
Okay, so how does that all work? Is that somebody just like really far away, or can it be somebody in this? Can it be local multiplayer?
So right now it's going to go through our services. So basically you're being matchmade with anyone playing Watch Dogs out there. And basically when you do put a virus into someone, if you manage to hack someone, then he's in your network. You have a virus in him, and you're going to see him in your network. If he wants to get out of it, he needs to come back at you, and then to come out of that network.
All right, so let me ask you a question. In the demo, we see a dude have an argument with his girlfriend, and then we murder him. How does that affect your game?
Yeah, well, he was doing more than having an argument. I mean, he was almost strangling her, so that's more than an argument.
We didn't get that far in ours. He was just like, I'm really unhappy, and then you're like, hey, you.
I think our demoist might have been a little bit too good at the demo at this point in E3. So yeah, he's strangling her. He's trying to kill her. So there's a justification for intervening. But yeah, you remain completely in control of the means you want to use. So if you want to just put a bullet in his head, you can do that. The outcome, though, is that you might not get the same kind of reputation impact if you do something like that. People are going to think that you're a crazy guy using extreme measure to inflict justice. So it's gonna come back to you.
So why do we murder the CTOS people? I mean, they're just security men doing their job. I mean, why do we have to kill them all?
You're actually the first person who asked me that, and I was expecting more of that question. So you might have noticed, or not, but as we were profiling those guys, they had pretty shady pasts for security officers. It's still not a justification to kill them, but it's still a little bit intriguing. And basically, it's going to be the player deciding if he wants to do that or just sneak his way through, which a lot of people in playtests do too. But you might discover also justification to decide to kill them, but I don't want to spoil more of the story.
How does the tablet work? I don't think we've seen it in action yet, have we?
Yeah, so we've shown it at the press conference, at the Sony press conference. It was the co-op aspect of it. I'll talk about this, and I'll talk about another core aspect to it. So basically, the player at any time can call for a friend. So it's the player in his game deciding he wants to do that. All of his friends are gonna get a help request. If they accept, then they get a top view of the city, and they see all the game the player is playing, but from that top view. And they can do all the hacks that Aiden can do from the ground, and even more powerful ones. So at the Sony press event, the player hacked into an helicopter to help Aiden. He took down some cop cars with bollards. He can send message to his friend through digital boards. So he can basically hack into the city from that view and help out his friend. Once it's done, then he goes on playing the game in single player. You can also have a competitive mode, which is the most fun we have to offer with either tablet or mobile. And basically, you got a guy on the ground trying to achieve objective, and the other guy on the mobile is trying to stop him hacking into the city, but also dispatching police forces, controlling the chopper to try and get him out. And that's a really cool mode to play on the same couch. But since it's a mobile, you can be, in your own home, and it'll work with your buddy who's far away.
And does that support Android and iOS?
Yeah, it's both Android and iOS. Sorry?
Like iOS Universal, iPhone, iPad?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So what we showed today was player hacking other players. There's other instances, other types of missions you can get that will get you into other people's game. And we also have other modes of multiplayer that involve more than 2 people, but we'll talk about those later on.
So how many people can you have in a multiplayer match at a time?
So for those kinds of events where you're playing multiplayer and single player, we'll limit it to 2 so that it's more control. But we also have modes that involve more players, but we're keeping that for later.
So you can play through the whole game offline if you want. How will my experience be different if I do that?
Yeah, you'll be able to play through Aiden's story, but you won't be meeting those other players, you won't be living those events, those types of missions, and you won't be able to compete to become the most notorious hacker in Watch Dogs.
Does your game require an online connection?
So let me make this very clear. Watch Dogs does not require an online connection.
But to get the multiplayer stuff,
of course, yeah, it helps to have a wire or Wi-Fi. yeah.
And what platforms is it coming to?
So it's coming out PS3, PS4, Xbox One, 360, PC, Wii U.
Wow, that's like everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything.
Cool. Well, thanks so much. And guys, if you want to know more about video games or how you can get fired playing Watch Dogs on your iPad, you know where to keep it locked, right here on IGN.